Growing up in Minnesota, my dad was known for this phrase, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. He was absolutely relentless to get what he wanted, and he always taught me the value of being determined and persisting to go after your goals. And he also taught me that if you don't ask, you don't get. Today is all about making a powerful ask and how to actually do that. So the first step is to think about what holds you back from making asks in the first place. What is it? Maybe it's self-doubt. Maybe there's some fear in there. Maybe there's just some general concern of whatever it is that is going on for you. The tools that you're going to get today are going to help you to stop missing out on opportunities. So no more of those. The first thing, though, what we want to think about with asking is, why is it so hard? Let's talk about the result of asking. The thought of asking is scary sometimes because we think, oh, I might be rejected, or they might not like what I have to say, or worse, maybe they are truly going to say no. So sometimes it feels more comfortable to just not even ask in the first place. But whatever it is that's holding you back, just first of all, I want to acknowledge the fact that we all have self-doubt. We want to talk about some tools to help you to get past that. And that's where I want to start, because I'm going to give you the tangible tools on how to make the ask, but first we've got to start with how to tackle the doubt. And the number one thing is to own your worth. You've got to recognize that you are valuable and you have great things to do in this world. If nobody's ever told you before, I'm here to tell you that you are a masterpiece. You have great value. Sometimes, though, we don't feel that way. I know I have self-doubt a lot about things, but I've learned some exercises that have helped me to overcome it. First thing, I'm going to give you a moment right now just to take 12 seconds to write down, grab a pen, write down as many things that you can think of that you love about yourself. And if you can't think of anything that you love about yourself, maybe other things that people have said about you that they love about you. Take 12 seconds to do that now. Wrapping up. All right, let's come back. Now, I know that's just a list that's going to get you started, so go back to that later and continue with it. The other assignment I would suggest is to ask 5 of your friends that you know and love, that love you back, and ask them what they think about with you related to your positive attributes and what you bring to the world. And then take it another step to really sink in that feeling of getting past the self-doubt, which is ask if you can speak it back to them. There's a lot of research that talks about how when the value of actually speaking things with someone, saying it out loud in relationship, helps you to internalize that feeling. So try that out. The other thing is a fear script. What does fear say to you sometimes? So what I mean by this script is just simply a dialogue. So maybe it's something like, well, who are you to ask for a promotion, for example? So that's what you write maybe in a journal. You could do it in a journal, the written form, or you could do it in the spoken form, either with someone else, but probably on your own, I would guess. But just notice what you would say back. So if fear says, who are you to ask for a promotion? To respond back to that and go back and forth. So take a moment right now. Think about a phrase that self-doubt or fear says to you. What is some of your negative self-talk? And write that down, please. The reason why I want you to write that down is, first of all, to get you started on the fear script. So you can do that after today. Start doing that. And it's amazing how you start doing it. It will peel away some layers of the onion and help you to create more awareness of what's getting in your way. Now, the other reason I wanted you to write that down is for another exercise. As you think about the things that you say to yourself on a negative level, I want to give you a suggested exercise. for, let's say, 1 to 3 days. Pick a period of time, at least one day. Some people have done it up to a week. Jot down every time you say something negative about yourself, tally mark it in your phone or in a notepad in your purse. Notice how often you're doing it so you can get the data. Then the next step is do that same amount of time, now counteracting that negative with a positive. Now they do say in psychology that it takes 7 positive statements to counteract a negative, but at least get 2 or 3 positive things that you could have at the ready to say back to yourself when those negative doubt statements come up. So take a moment right now to jot down something positive about yourself. So let's say if you said that example, who are you to be worthy of getting promotion? Maybe your positive affirmation back is, or statement back is, I am a powerful, wonderful, capable woman. Something like that. Whatever works for you. You've got to find your own words, of course, but find something that works. Now, here's another thing. This is the last exercise I'm going to give you around the self-doubt part. Say that negative statement like a Broadway musical. And that may sound a little bit weird, but this is from my friend and Dr. Rachel Grant, who did a workshop once, and she's a specialist in changing your brain neurons and the fact that there is neuroplasticity, which is sort of a semi-new discovery, that we can actually change things just by saying them differently or change how we feel. So for example, you sing it. I am not worthy of getting a promotion. If that is, it's a little weird to say that out loud, honestly. But something about doing it, notice how I couldn't really say it or sing it without laughing. And that changes the meaning, which is then now changing my brain cells because I am physiologically shifting those things as well as in my brain. So give that a shot. We've got to step into our confidence. So let's get to the actual how do you do this? How do you ask? First of all, you have to get clear on what you want. If you know what you want right now and there's something that you want to ask for, and even if you're not sure, take a moment right now, but I'm going to do this just really quickly. Just take a moment to write down something that you want and that you could technically ask for in the next month. Sometimes the hardest thing is to actually get clear on what we want. For me, a while back, my goal was to stop doing so many things. Well, I still love doing coaching and training and all of that, but what I really wanted to do is be a keynote speaker specifically to help women speak up rather, and stand out. So to stand out with confidence, that's really my mantra. And yet I was doing so many other things that it was getting diluted. So I realized in one moment, 3 Ds. Decide, declare, and do. That's what I ended up doing related to this shift, or should I say focus in my career. I realized I want to be a keynote speaker. I'm deciding that. And then putting that stake in the ground saying, I'm going to tell everybody I know that is what I am and that's what I do. Then I just started doing it. And you know what? It's amazing when you start declaring things out loud and telling people you know that opportunities start coming. So definitely try the 3 Ds. The other thing now related to the actual ask, here's the tactical. You've got to have 3 things: a clear point, an action for the listener, and benefits. I would definitely suggest first you start with who your listener is. What do they care about? What matters to them? You may want a promotion, but what if they don't really think about it? Maybe you're not even on their radar. So you got to think about where are they now and how can you then move to where they're at and help them see how great that promoting you is going to be for them. So that's really key. So clear point, clear action, clear benefits. What I would suggest you do, I want to tell you a story and how I got promoted a while back. There's a few times in my life where I have created new jobs that I wanted to do because I just wanted to do them, and I got that opportunity because I was decent at asking and hopefully I was a hard worker and worth promoting. But the first thing is I was an HR manager and I really didn't like the comps and the benefits side, but I wanted to move into training so badly. I knew that I wanted to leave the corporate world and become a trainer and a coach, but I didn't know how to do it. So what I decided to do is pitch my boss to move me into a training role, which we didn't have, it did not exist, and get someone else to do benefits and comp. So when I went to hear her, I want to just model what I said to her approximately, and you can notice how I'm walking through these three things. But one thing in addition to the three, the point, the action, the benefit, is you've got to first figure out what's the pain point for the audience, and this is a partner with the benefits. What are they missing out on, or what is going to make their life better if I'm promoted? So for example, what I did is I went to my boss, I'll call her Sue, and I said, hey Sue, I'd love to have a conversation with you about something that I really believe is going to benefit the company and hopefully make your job easier and everybody else's jobs even better. You know that I don't really like comp and benefits, so I've been thinking about how my role could shift. And I've come up with a list of items here because if you think about it, we don't have any trainer or really any training for things like how to give feedback, how to communicate better, how to manage your stress, how to manage your time. Imagine if I was in that role, then I could be doing this, and you know what's even better? I'd be doing the sessions at lunch, so it wouldn't be taking away from people's job responsibilities. And that's why I think it would be amazing if I could be promoted into this role. And what I'm going to ask of you is to just review what I wrote out here, and then maybe we could have a conversation next week. How does that sound to you? So that's an example of how that could be done. Now, one of the things that we didn't talk about yet, we've got the message. Now we want to focus on the how with your voice. There's body language, all of that. We're going to focus specifically on voice today. One of the biggest challenges for women especially is vocal projection and conviction. So speak louder. But sometimes what happens when people speak louder is they speak louder, like they're yelling at a concert, and that doesn't sound very good. You've got to keep the tone where the voice is actually coming from your diaphragm muscle so that it sounds more, it has more depth to it. So you want to have that depth versus up here and project. You don't want to be timid and say, well, maybe, possibly, could you, sort of. That does not show conviction. And then conviction also just means that you end your statements with a period, not a question or a comma. So for example, a lot of times when people introduce themselves, because I do a lot of video coaching with introductions, they'll say, hi, my name is Karen Laos, and I'm originally from Minneapolis, and now I live in San Francisco. Notice how there's no conviction there. Try this. Hi, my name is Karen Laos. I'm originally from Minneapolis, but I now live in San Francisco. Notice how I'm putting periods there that are emphatic statements. So that's what you want to do to show your credibility. You want to make sure that you come across as credible. You might have this amazing message, but if you don't come across as credible, then that message is not going to get out well. Last thing, role play. Make sure that you role play with someone else and that you act as if, the more you act as if it's happening, the more likely it will be to come true. Start visualizing it and then just make the ask. Now, our job, your job, is to just make the ask. We can't control the outcome. You can't know what somebody's actually going to say, but make the ask and then see where it lands. That would be my suggestion. It does get easier. It's like a muscle. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And in the spirit of that, I want to say, go ask for what you want, make a plan, do it, and see where it lands.